Day one of the YCS is come and gone. We're going to follow up with that big changes video that we did yesterday, just to kind of see where the format is going, shall we? Make sure you smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss on more awesome content. It's literally super early in the morning here for filming this, but I wanted to get this video together for the mid-afternoon here. So, buy steel cards, looking like an absolute snack after this weekend. I can't tell you how many rounds that I watched this weekend. That there was buy steel Magnuma. Sometimes Lubellion showed up, you know, the good spells and traps showed up on the field. All sorts of variants out here taking advantage of these new anti-meta contenders. Wow, it's almost like Konami has focused in on these light and dark engines for so long at this point in time that when you create this dragon engine, the other part of Yu-Gi-Oh here that has such great synergy with it. When you create these anti-meta contenders to kind of answer the problems that are tier elements that want to use themselves to fuse, that you're going to see these relatively powerful cards take off. I said the same thing yesterday in the video, where a lot of people weren't prepared going into this weekend with these new Darkwing Blast, you know, releases impacting the metagame here. And I was definitely correct about that. Though, on the higher end of the competitive spectrum, for sure, a lot more players were prepared for that, but the average Joe was not. So those buy steel cards made such a huge impact just for the quick effect, take out a spot removal. Now, on the topic of buy steel here, I did see that there was a Thunder Dragon buy steel list. It was 7-1. I think, unfortunately, it ended up, what was it, 7-2? Don't quote me on that at the end of the day here, but here's where I'm sitting, alright? I'm actually pretty excited to see that Thunder Dragon buy steel did get the chance to do something. It's actually been super long time, actually, since we've seen any sort of competent Thunder Dragon stuff kind of show up. It's almost like after the loss of Thunder Dragon, you know, Colossus, the deck has definitely been struggling to kind of get off the ground. So when you kind of rewind things back here, kind of take that step back, and you're like, you know, those buy steel cards are really that good to put something like Thunder Dragon back on the map as a semi-relevant deck. Yeah, it's actually quite interesting. I am definitely excited to see what was in store for that Thunder Dragon buy steel list, and I definitely would like to see Thunder Dragon buy steel stick around as one of those more interesting competitors. Now, I have talked about Dragon Maid buy steel a little bit here. I saw this build show up. It was out of the UK Open this weekend as well. So I think this would have been Saturday during the stream over there on that segment that we saw, you know, guess what all the buy steel cards are? They're all, you know, huge dragon monsters that give you the massive ability to use them for all of the Dragon Maid requirements. Plus, you know what? You get the branded spells and traps up and running, you're good to go effectively. So what's the big advantage tree to playing this? I mean, you get to cut out a whole bunch of the Dragon Maid cards. You get to put in, you know, all of the buy steel good stuff cards. You get to shove some Fenriers in that bad boy, and you are off to the races. And I think that's like the coolest thing about seeing that deck actually function is, one, it's awesome to see Dragon Maid getting any sort of like recognition right now. It's that good. And two, it shows like how much of a meta changer and how powerful those buy steel cards are, because they're all attached to relatively huge bodies. Like, whoo, trust me. You're like, oh boy, Summon Skull's hard. And yeah, Summon Skull for 1 tribute to the play on the field. Just banish a lighter dark monster from either player's graveyard. Oh, and now you got a way easier mechanic to access. Like, that's crazy to me. But yeah, on the topic of Dragon Maids, the deck now has gotten way more consistent. It's almost like, once again, those buy steel cards were designed to make these decks that kind of relied on these packages or needed these anti-meta cards. Something like Thunder Dragon, something like, you know, Dragon Maid, made them more functional. And I actually think that that's awesome. On the topic of Fenrir here and Shatri Law cards. First of all, Shatri Law is playable. I do say this. Shatri Law is playable right now. Is it as powerful as it's going to be post next set? Absolutely not. But there were some heads kind of being stirred here a little bit as we've seen that deck start to gain momentum. But that's not to say that, you know, that's the reason why. Fenrir right now has stepped into the light, has doubled in price over the weekend. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the market out of the weekend here with Darkwing Blast, but when an ultra rare is basically the first, second most expensive card in the set at this point in time, surpassing the secret rares, and you have 4 chances to pull an ultra. Oh, wait, I've been informed that Fenrir might be a short print. I don't know if there's any sort of validity to that, but I can tell you the amount of cases I've seen open where you're only seeing maybe 3 Fenrirs versus some of these secrets you're seeing 3 to 4 of. You're getting a little bit crazy there. But in terms of the Shatri Law hype train right now for the pure variant, some people tried it out. It looks like they had fun with it. And to top things off, Fenrir's place in the format, pretty good, man. I compared it to Pankratops, and a lot of people some people agreed that it's better than Pankratops. Some people are like, it's not Pankratops. I understand, but you have to understand that this searches itself, so you get access to another copy, and it spot removals anything on attack or your opponent doing something. That seems amazing to me. I just want to once again throw that out to you here that Fenrir is that stupid good card. Also, this is a question mark one that I had down in my notes for this video. Evidently there's a new Cyberstein FTK. I've heard a couple of comments on this, but I don't have any real validity to it. I don't know if it's another one of those Repronicus shenanigans, probably not. But from what I'm hearing, Cyberstein is doing things yet again. And I will tell you, every time Cyberstein does something, a lot of people kind of look around and get really, 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 really confused. I guess it's also another level 2 that you can do something with. So I don't know what's going on with that. I'm sure somebody in the comment section will inform me about that, but there's that. Also, I will say, after watching this weekend's feature match with Pendulums, that deck seems so fun, man. I know Triff uploads combo videos and things, but to watch more people competently kind of know what they're doing with the deck, watching the deck step through the motions, the Ignister or Dynaster stuff seems so fun. Alright, I actually hope that Pendulums will get some more recognition here going forward, and I actually hope to see that maybe one of the builds will be successful out of the weekend here, because just watching that deck go off, it's so interesting. It's a different kind of mechanic in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Not super big fan of Pendulums myself, but I will say having one more deck in the room that's different versus, the Tier Menace is definitely good. Also, speaking of, opposites in the room here, so Sprind is an amazing card, and I see that Tier is taking advantage of it after this weekend, too. You thought that Sprind was going to be the card that made Sprite better? I mean, it did, but Sprind, I just seen pop right on in to all these weird Tier element variants. Speaking of Tier, you guys seen how many, different tier lists out of this weekend there were? You have so many different splashes of card pulls just watching these different feature matches. So many people. Scream is an amazing card, by the way. I don't need to tell you about that. If you haven't realized that, a mill 3 is great until you mill Dark Ruler No More, and what was it? I think it was Fear Mode or something stupid like that during one of the feature matches. It's a double-edged sword for the mill, but it's really good. But there's that. Also, speaking of Cartesia and Brandon and High Spirits, definitely look like they're temporarily the best thing for the TCG. There was a lot of Cartesia, to my understanding, at least from what we were starting to see from the feature matches. So, Brandon and High Spirits, get you something to search. We don't know how well that's going to hold post-Ishizu, because remember, we're in that very, weird 2-week window here before that kind of takes off. So there's that. And then one last thing I want to mention here. Runic, throughout most of the feature matches, seemed very quiet this weekend, at least for Saturday. That's not to say that Runic wasn't around, but the deck just won the UK Open, alright, with Sprite. So heading on into day 2 here, I think Runic is going to shake up a lot of things here. I think a lot of people are going to turn their heads, and a lot of people are going to be like, huh? Runic's dead, Robbie? No, it's not by any stretch of the imagination. I think the deck is going to turn heads very, very, very quickly this weekend again. So, considering it just won the UK literally yesterday, But that's everything I've kind of noticed out of this. So what do you guys think? Please leave a comment about how much you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.